Hello and welcome to our channel. Today is March the 7th and we are going to talk about American market, about our forecast for US market from ftninvest.us website. Please go to us, consider subscribing to our service to follow our portfolio because we are much better. We are using both value and technical analysis and in our portfolio management. This week was not very good for American market. You see the loss of S&P and not a very good result year today, but I showed it to you in the previous weeks. This head and shoulders model, technical model, cause these problems. Yes, we can talk about rising oil prices, about the Iran war, everything, but the problem of the American market related with first technical and with valuation problem. High valuation of a lot of stocks causing not only the fall, but people begin to think, begin to estimate what to do next. Still, US market is not in the crash mode. There is no crash of the bubble and something like that. Yes, it is declining, but in a slow pace. Still, there are some forces who buy Magnificent Seven stocks with very high valuation. Who buy? It's very hard to understand. Maybe Middle Eastern capital going abroad, they trying to save their money, I don't know, from Saudi Arabia and something like that. Maybe they don't know, they don't understand what to do, they don't understand the value and just buy everything. So in my view, technical situation in America remains negative, but if there are some, there gonna be some peace movement around Iran, and I think President Donald Trump will begin to find a way to finish this war on the next week. Because of the common sense, these problems with oil supply could damage everything, and the markets too. Because what is selling on the futures market? We don't know that. So real supply may begin, maybe going to the first place to consider real supply, not just the futures. So even oil market on a treat. So maybe common sense should give an advice to America to finish this war, to say, okay, we won, and we go away. In my view, this is a very probable, and then we will see the fall in the oil, and then we'll see some rise on US stocks, but then again the fall again, because technically the situation is bad. If you see Nasdaq, there is fresh negative model, and the red bar in a Friday, So in my view, there is a biggest problem for American market, but also there was a negative week for a Dow. You see the model I showed to you 2 weeks ago, and now the results are quite impressive. The fall of the Dow Jones too, but Dow is quite different from Nasdaq and different from S&P 500. As for us, our portfolio, we have not a very good week too, but the biggest fall was on a Friday with the market. Most of the days we were close to zero. Some day ups, mostly down, but the overall situation in US markets is negative. Yes, we invest in different things, but they are true in a threat of fall. But in my view, we are in a better position now. As far as all the graphs, there is a rise in a US yield. You see the technical model, which was broken some times ago, are now actual again. The force is moving the yield up. That means that bonds are falling too in the US. So maybe the capital is not so the capital flow in American market is not so strong. Maybe somebody switching to other assets, but to which I don't understand right now. I don't know. So please consider this trade too. If the rise there is our forecast for the yield is to rise. But if it will continue, we can see another reason to fall for the American market, Nasdaq primarily. And also let's look at the US dollar index. It has risen significantly after the war began. And in my view, it was just a market reaction, common market reaction. What do we do in a trade? We should buy a dollar, and then the market now understanding it's a negative, our negative forecast for US dollar index, because it was unable to came through this resistance line, and now are looking down too. So markets begin to understand that the trade is in the US too, in the US market too. So they should move somewhere else, but where to move? This is the questions. To say, I don't know, Japan, and okay, Japan. Where Japan will receive, from which source they will get the oil and gas now after these problems with Persian Gulf. It's very hard to understand why in Japan. In Europe too, the same problem. So maybe US is not on such a bad position. So my forecast is not very clear at this time. Yes, technically the market gonna move down again, but on the news, if there gonna be some peace news from Middle East, the market may rise with the fall of an oil. Thank you very much and take care.